Okay, this is the third video for how to make a branches of government quiz app using Thunkable. And so we are at the point where we need to make our last screen. So if you remember how to add another screen, I have 3 questions total in my app. I have screen 1, which is my intro screen, and then 3 questions. I need to add another screen, and I'm just going to call this one End. You could call it Finish. You can call it whatever you want. So I'm going to call mine End. And I might put a little message on there about congratulations, you finished. And I'm also going to put a button on there to go back home. So I've added a new screen now. I think I've done it. It's just taking a while for it to show up. Sometimes we have to be patient in Thunkable. There we go. All right, so this is my end screen. I'm going to put a label in there with a nice message. For me, I'm just going to put congratulations just so it can go a little quicker here. But you might want to put something in there like, now you know a lot more about the branches of government or something like that. So congratulations. And then I'm also going to put a button here that leads back home. So I'll go ahead and put that underneath. And on the button, I'm going to put the word home. Now, what we'll need to do is code that button to go back home. And then we'll need to go back into our last question. And I'll explain that in a second. Let's get this one out of the way. We'll go into blocks. And there's only one button on this screen. So what we need to do is code that one button to open another screen. And that is called screen 1. So button 1, when button 1 is clicked, I think I'm going a little too fast for my internet connection right now. All right, when button 1 is clicked, we'll go into control and open another screen and get a text box there. This should feel pretty familiar to you at this point. We'll thunk that together right there. And then in the box, we say screen 1. Now, don't make the mistake a lot of people make. You have to have it, type it in exactly the way you see it over here. So there's no space. It's a capital S. It's important that it matches exactly. All right, so that is all the coding that we needed to do on the last page. And we'll talk about how to make this a little fancier, add pictures in the next video. But let's go back to our last question. So we had the answers. So on this page, we have a question with 3 answers, possible answers. And we also have this button here. And instead of calling it next, I put the word finish so that your user knows that they are now ending their quiz. And that was the last one that they had to answer. So we need to code that button on our block screen to go to the new screen that we just made. So let's take a look at my coding in here, and I should have all of these coded already, making sure that I paid attention to which one is correct. So you can see in this one, button 2 is correct because it will turn green and the good sound will play. I'm going to grab button 4 and just tell it to open the next screen right here. And once we do this, we are ready to test our app, which means that we will get the tablet and scan a QR code and try to get our app working on a tablet. So when button 4 is clicked, open another screen, and mine was called End. So all of my coding should be complete. And I'm going to go back to the designer view of my first screen so that I'm where the user would start the app normally. So I'm going to bring it all the way back to the beginning right here. And then I go up here to Test and Thunkable Live. When I click that, I get a QR code. So the next step that you need to do is take the tablet and open the Thunkable app or a smartphone, an Android smartphone, and you click scan the QR code and you just hold it up. You're going to give it 3 or 4, maybe even 5 or 6 seconds to load the app onto your device, and then you'll be able to make changes live. So for example, you may want this button to go all the way down. You could bring a label over, an empty label like this, and you could just delete the text from that label like so, and just put a space in there. And then you can change the height of this label right here. And you could say fill parent. That means fill all the empty space. So that makes it so that there is some space here. So maybe you want to do that. If you make a change like that while you're live testing, you'll be able to see that change happen on the device. So it does take a little bit of time because it's going over a Wi-Fi connection. So you want to make sure that you are patient if you make a change. But go ahead and do things like that, or and also test out your buttons and make sure that the sounds play on the other screens with questions 2, 3, or questions 1, 2, 3, and more if you had more. Just make sure everything's working correctly. And then in the next video, I will show you how to add any kind of enhancements, formatting issues, things like that, if you want to throw a picture in there or whatever you want to do. So that's what we'll do in the next video. But for now, go ahead and test out your app and hopefully everything's working correctly. You might need to do a little bit of troubleshooting, but that's okay. It's important to fail forward, and I will see you in the next video.